Hey everyone, it's Silver Seeker, and today we are taking a look at this beautiful 1955 Benjamin Franklin half dollar. As you can see, it is certified by PCGS as MS64, but there is something hidden about this 1955 half dollar that you may or may not be able to see. This is actually a 1955 Bugs Bunny variety, and what the Bugs Bunny variety is essentially a die clash that left some really cool marks on the face of the Benjamin that makes it look like he has the same kind of buck teeth that you would see on Bugs Bunny. So to tell you more about the Bugs Bunny and what type of air it is, we're going to go over some images showing you up close what the Bugs Bunny variety is, and then we're going to show this under the microscope so we can see for ourselves what we're looking at. What's really cool about this piece, however, if you notice, it is not attributed. So PCGS did not actually label this as a Bugs Bunny. Why is that, you ask? Well, PCGS actually requires an additional fee for variety attribution. And they say that fee is to cover the cost of the graders taking more time to verify the authenticity and the legitimacy of the attribution or the error. Now, the 55 Bugs Bunny is one that they do attribute, but this one was not done. So either two things happened. The first one is the original owner of this coin didn't realize it was a Bugs Bunny when he sent it off to be graded. The more likely scenario, however, is that he just didn't want to pay the extra $18 to get this attributed. So again, let's go ahead and go over what the Bugs Bunny error is and the type of die clash that it is. And then when we're done, we're going to take a look at this one up close and personal under the coin scope. Okay, we are looking at the obverse and the reverse, or the front and the back of the Benjamin Franklin half dollar. Essentially what a die clash is when a die is coming together to stamp a coin, but there is no planchet there. The dies strike each other and leave basically marks from the other side of the coin on the die on each side. So part of the bell will be left on the obverse, or the eagle in this case, and on the opposite side, on the reverse, you'll see maybe the head or some of the letters, the 1953, things like that. Now, what we have on the 1955 Bugs Bunny is essentially you have the eagle on the right side of the bell on the reverse of the coin, and when the dies clash together, the feathers from the eagle actually create what looks like teeth coming out of the lip or sometimes out of the nose. Now, there's three types of Bugs Bunny, three primary types. Of course, there's always, different varieties and things like that, but your three primary types are basically the vampire teeth, where it looks like he has vampire teeth coming out of his mouth. And then you have the booger nose, where the feathers of the eagle on the reverse are coming out of his nose, so it looks like someone needs to hand him a tissue. And then you have the upper lip, where essentially the feathers look like they're coming out of the upper lip and just makes him look like he has teeth. They're just sticking through his lip and out of his mouth. Okay, now that we've seen the different type of die clashes that create the different types of Bugs Bunny, we're going to go ahead and look at ours under the scope. So as you can see here, we do have it under the scope, and you can see where the red arrow is pointing right now. You can actually see the teeth coming out of his mouth. Now, to me, this looks like it is the type 1, whereas the vampire teeth coming out of his mouth, as opposed to like the upper lip or maybe the booger nose. Now, there is another sign of the die clash on this one. If you look at the back of his head, you can actually see the bell sticking out of the back of his head. If you remember when we looked at the overlay, you can see the bottom of the bell comes out of the back of Benjamin's head, and you can see that very clearly right here. In fact, we turned on the light just so it shows up a little bit more apparent, but that is certainly the bottom of the bell that is clashed and is now sticking out of the back of Benji's head as well. Just another sign of the die clash. Where the two sides of the die struck each other with, unfortunately, not a planchet between them, which caused this really cool die variety. And now that we've zoomed in, we'll take a look at it really close, where you can actually see the feathers of the eagle creating that really cool Bugs Bunny effect. There are the buck teeth on Benjamin himself. And again, it's really cool that this wasn't even attributed. So PCGS didn't even attribute it, whether it was because the guy didn't want to pay or he didn't even realize that it was a Bugs Bunny when he sent it off. Okay guys, well that is it for this video. I do hope that you enjoyed looking at our Bugs Bunny 1955 Benji. Let me know what you think in the comments, and do you have anything like this in your collection? Something else guys, if you haven't joined our Discord server, we do discuss things like this in Discord all the time, so definitely follow the link in the description and head over to our Discord server and join. It's a very fun place to be, and we have over 200 members over there, which is very cool. Alrighty guys, that's it. Let me know again, and make sure if you haven't done so yet, please subscribe because it does help us out a ton. Leave that like if you liked the video, and we will talk to you in the next one.